Alright guys, Hansi Flick, the guy who smashed the club by a famous 8-2 win,
That wasn't a victory tonight. That was a complete destruction.
is now at Barcelona, but here's the twist. He's turned their whole game plan upside down, and it's kind of evil. Think domination. Think relentless pressing. Think Barça reclaiming their throne in La Liga. They've taken down giants like Bayern and Real Madrid, showing everyone they're back in the mix as serious contenders. Stick around because I'm telling you with Flick's strategy, 2025 might just be Barcelona's year to take it all. Barca's off to an insane start this season, top of the table. And guess what? They're a solid 6 points clear of Real Madrid. But hold up, let's talk about Real for a second. They brought in Mbappe this season, plus Brazil's young star Endrick. Everyone was so sure this would be their year. I mean, with Mbappe, Jude Bellingham and Vinicius Jr., it's like a flashback to Madrid's Galactico days. Even with legends like Nacho and Cruz gone, this squad looks stacked. But here's the thing, football isn't math. Surprises always pop up, and this season it's baby Barca stealing the spotlight. Imagine a 17-year-old running the attack, an 18-year-old in midfield, and another 17-year-old handling defense. How is a team this young dominating La Liga? Now, here's what makes this story wild. For years post-Cruyff, Barca had this sacred blueprint. Every manager pretty much followed the same style. Tiki-taka, possession, controlling the game, that was Barcelona's DNA. But Flick, he took one look at that playbook, tossed it aside, and brought in his own ruthless, high-speed, high-risk style. It's like Barcelona got this whole German revolution going on. No more just passing around and waiting. This is all about fast, vertical attacks and crazy intense, genuine passing. And here's the twist. This is the same style that led to one of Barca's darkest defeats ever. But now, the very guy who handed them that nightmare is flipping the script, turning those bad memories into a redemption story. But hey, let's get real. How many trophies do you guys think Barca can win with Flick's style? Can they go all the way in the Champions League? Or is it just La Liga thereafter? Here's the deal. In Kylian Mbappe's first El Clasico, Flick's game plan turned his debut into a complete nightmare. By the 30th minute, Mbappe thought he scored a beauty, slicing through Barca's defense and putting it in the bottom corner. The guy was celebrating like he just won the World Cup until VAR ruled it offside by the tiniest margin. The goal was erased and Mbappe was shook. And it didn't end there. Flick's defensive setup had Madrid offside a record 12 times that night. Mbappe himself, he was offside 8 times. Every time he tried to make a move, Barca's defenders were a step ahead. Flick had set up this killer offside trap, pressing high and closing down space so tight that Madrid's attackers had nowhere to go. Since the season started, Barca's defense has been catching teams offside, left and right, double what Pep's Barca used to do. Flick's style is like this perfect blend of German discipline and that classic Barca attack. Defenders hold a high line, midfielders push up, and the fullbacks are all over the place. It's compact, relentless, and just gives attackers zero breathing room. And here's what makes it work. These players, most of them under 21, are crazy fast and sharp. Mbappe, with all that speed, he just couldn't get past them. Even when he broke through, Barca's defense stayed locked in. Cubarsí and Martinez were totally in sync, stepping up at just the right moments, catching Madrid offside again and again. So Flick's got his players spread across the entire pitch, pulling defenders all over the place. No more predictable patterns, no more slow build-up. Flick is making the opposition work overtime just to keep up. And the positioning? It's genius. By keeping players spread out and always moving, defenders can't just zone in on the ball. They've got to track everyone, which means gaps open up everywhere. That's where his players strike. This tactic is taking every defense and turning it into Swiss cheese, full of holes. When Barcelona faces those stubborn teams who park the bus, Flick's got a plan for that too. Instead of crowding everyone forward, he lets the center backs charge up the field with a ball, forcing the defenders to react and break their shape. It's all about creating the chaos in the final third, making defenders uncomfortable and constantly keeping them guessing. Flick is like, you stay still, you'll lose. And Barca's making sure every opponent pays the price for even the smallest hesitation. And get this, Flick isn't just about going full throttle attack. When Barcelona faces a high-pressing team, he doesn't try to force his usual setup. He's super adaptable, shifting to a formation that gives them more passing lanes. So instead of getting overwhelmed, Barca can pass out of pressure, dragging defenders wide and opening up the opposite side for those lethal counterattacks. It's high risk, high reward, and it's working. Let's talk about Flick's secret weapon in this system too. Robert Lewandowski? Yeah, he's the main striker. But behind him you've got Dani Olmo, causing absolute chaos. Olmo's setting up plays, drawing defenders, and creating those big moments. And then there's the insane combination of Rafinha and Lamine Yamal on the wings. They're not just hugging the sideline, they're cutting inside, constantly threatening, keeping defenders on edge with every run. And the midfield, Casado is playing like a man possessed. He's all over the pitch, pressing like crazy, always keeping the ball moving. Right beside him, Pedri is that calm presence, controlling the game, keeping the tempo and making those killer passes from deep. This mix of energy and control is what makes Barca's attack so hard to stop. One minute they're clogging up the middle, the next they're stretching out wide. Flick's system is unpredictable, and that's what's making life miserable for defenders. But there are risks here. Flick's aggressive pressing means the defense is always right on the edge. If they don't win the ball back quickly, there's a ton of open space for opponents to exploit. It's a system that depends on constant energy and razor-sharp focus. And with some players like Lewandowski getting older, there's always a question of whether they can keep up this intensity for a full season. Injuries, fatigue, it's all part of the gamble. Defensively, Flick has had to make some adjustments. Barcelona's high line and pressing game don't exactly suit an aging squad, so he's found a way to keep players like Lewandowski in a role that doesn't demand too much pressing. The wingers drop back, helping to cover more ground, especially against teams with attacking fullbacks. This balance lets Barca keep their shape while still going all out on attack. But no matter how Flick adjusts, this Barca side is an attack-first, relentless machine. They're not holding back. They're coming for trophies. It's a risky, high-energy style, but when it clicks, this team is electric. You've got young players like 17-year-old Kubarsi stepping up alongside veterans, all buying into Flick's vision. The ball's zipping around so fast, the opposition can barely react. 1 second they think they're in position, and the next, boom, Barca's already in their final third, catching everyone off guard. This team is all about those rapid transitions, leaving no breathing room for anyone on the other side. What's even crazier is Flick's approach to player freedom. He's not caging anyone's creativity. Rafinha gets the green light to dribble right at defenders, Yamal slicing through the backline, and Lewandowski's unleashing shots whenever he sees an opening. Flick wants his players to go all out, bringing out those flashes of brilliance and making every moment on the ball count. Defensively, they're just as aggressive. Barca's backline isn't chilling at the halfway line. They're pushing up, squeezing space, and trapping opponents deep in their own half. It's like they're saying, good luck trying to break out. And when Barca doesn't have possession, pressing everywhere. Every player is on high alert, hunting down the ball, forcing mistakes, and instantly flipping the play back to attack. It's constant, relentless pressure, a full throttle commitment that keeps the other team uncomfortable every single minute. And you've got to talk about their tackles. They're not playing it safe. They're going in hard, making sure they win the ball cleanly but assertively, and launching the counter right after. It's risky, but Flick trusts his defense to pull it off. And so far, they've proven him right. Plus, with that high defensive line, they've got the offside trap on lock. Opponents are getting caught out every game, barely even getting a chance to test the keeper. Then, when Barcelona does have the ball, Flick's got them going all in. He's told them to shoot on sight. No waiting for the perfect pass or overthinking. They're just firing whenever they see a chance, keeping the pressure dialed up on the opposition's keeper. This approach means they're never letting up. The attack is relentless, keeping the other team on their heels the entire game. It's a high-risk, high-reward style that's intense, fearless, and totally focusing on winning. Barca isn't here to play it safe. They're taking bold risks, and so far, it's playing off big time. So what do you guys think? How many trophies is this team going to bag by season's end? Let's hear it in the comments. And if you're into these deep dives, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to stay up to date with every breakdown. Catch you in the next one.